Welcome to our virtual jazz club. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are Laura Dubin and Antonio Guerrero, as most of you know, but I thought I would introduce ourselves in case we have any new listeners tonight. And I just saw a message from my dad. Hi, Dad. Thank you so much for watching and listening and tuning in tonight.
Thank you, Jan.
Yeah, I know you're going to appreciate the first tune we're about to play. So we'd like to start off with a piece, and actually, I'd also like to give a shout out to my sister Siobhan for this one. This is a piece of music that I learned from a Marx Brothers movie. If there are any Marx Brothers fans out there, please say hello on the comments of the video. I was going to say please raise your hand, but obviously I can't tell if you're raising your hand, so leave a comment and say hello. Maybe you can put the little hand emoji if you are a fan of the Marx Brothers. My sister Siobhan turned me on to the Marx Brothers when I was a little kid, and they are just like the funniest people in the world. I mean, except for besides Antonio. They're next to you. They're the funniest people I've ever, I don't want to say known, but known of, I suppose. Groucho. Yeah, Groucho. So what were their names? Groucho, Chico, Zeppo, Harpo, and I'm forgetting
Who's
some.
the one who...
That's Harpo. Yeah. So this song comes from a Marx Brothers movie called Horse Feathers. And this is my favorite Marx Brothers movie, tied with Duck Soup. They've got great movie titles. And one of the storylines of this particular movie is that all of the brothers, who obviously are not brothers in the movie, but all four brothers' characters are in love with the same woman. That's a recipe for success, right? So throughout the movie, each one of the Marx Brothers sings this song to this lady, trying to woo her. And this is a song called Everyone Says I Love You. And this is our own arrangement of the song. And it was, I kind of arranged it with different sections with different tempos and styles, which are supposed to kind of be representative of the different ways that the brothers sang this song throughout the movie. And my favorite one, of course, was when Chico Marx played it on the piano. Now, for anyone out there who's never seen the Marx Brothers, they were all very musical and extremely talented. In the movies, they would kind of play in a joking way, but honestly, they're really talented musicians. But one of Chico Marx's trademarks was that he would play the piano with just one finger, kind of like the way a little kid plays when they're first learning to play the piano. But he would play these really elaborate, detailed things just with one finger in the right hand and some accompaniment in the left hand. So there's a little bit of that in here. That was a song called Everyone Says I Love You from a classic movie by the Marx Brothers called Horse Feathers. And if you haven't seen that movie and you are looking for something to make you laugh during this period of quarantine, I cannot recommend that movie enough. And all the Marx Brothers movies, but that one is just my all-time favorite. My dad and my sister and my mom and I, we watched that movie like countless times when I was growing up, and it is still one of my favorites, and the jokes just make me laugh every time, even though I know what's coming by now. So thank you so much for joining us. Please leave a comment and say hello and let us know where you're watching from. At the end of the program, for those of you who are new here, we'd love to stick around for a few minutes and say hello to all of you in real time after we finish the music later on. So, and we'd love to know how far our music is traveling and how many people are tuned in. We've so appreciated you all being here with us through this journey of the creation of our virtual jazz club, coinciding with the start of this period of quarantine. It's been such a pleasure for us to share our music with you and to still be able to do so during this time. And it really means so much to us to have you all here listening. Thank you so much. We would like to play a piece of music that comes from a Disney movie. The movie and the song is Alice in Wonderland. But I will forever associate this piece with the great pianist Bill Evans, who played this as a jazz waltz, and he just made it into something even more magical, and I'll just always associate it with him. I believe it was first recorded on his album Sunday at the Village Vanguard. There was actually a whole series of albums which were recorded at the Village Vanguard, which is a extremely famous jazz club in New York City, just a really iconic place that is still there, and it's really like a national treasure, this jazz club. And this was recorded with his trio, with Scott LaFaro on bass and Paul Motion on the drums. And that was, I don't think it was his first trio, but I think it was like his first kind of trio that he really felt like a kind of spiritual connection with. And unfortunately, this is so tragic. When they recorded, they were playing for a week or so at the Village Vanguard, and they did these live recordings on maybe the last day or the last couple days of their performances there. And this is just kind of in the infancy of this trio's existence. And tragically, the bassist Scott LaFaro died in a car accident just a few days after they did these live recordings. And I know that Bill Evans was just absolutely heartbroken when that happened, and I'm sure the whole music community was as well. He was very young. He was in his 20s. He was from Geneva. Right? Yeah, actually, he's a local hero. He's from Geneva, New York, and I think there's actually a street named after him there. I think we drove through there a few years ago.
And now he's in a school of music in Mexico.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's a jazz Scott LaFaro school music.
I had no idea. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yes,
it's really incredible what a legacy he created, and how much influence he had on bass players, even though he really lived a very short life. But he was such an interesting and prolific player in the way that he didn't just walk the entire time. So walking bass line is when a bass line consists mainly of quarter notes. But what Scott LaFaro did was actually a lot more interactive with the piano and drums, and kind of imitating each other's phrases more than just like a traditional walking bass. And I know that was, he was probably one of the first bass players to do that, at least on recordings. And I know that he influenced so many bass players since then. So anyway, this tune, Alice in Wonderland, was one of the songs that the trio recorded together, and I think it's become just a really iconic tune associated with that specific Bill Evans trio. So we'll be thinking of them as we play this one, Alice in Wonderland. We hope you enjoy.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, he's directed a bass player, of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is someone you know?
Yeah.
That?
Yeah.
That was Alice in Wonderland, of course from the Disney movie of the same title, but that arrangement was very much inspired by the pianist Bill Evans and the Bill Evans Trio. We would like to play a piece of music next that comes from Brazil. This is by the great composer Antonio Carlos Jobim, and the Brazilian Portuguese title of this piece is Chega de Saudade. The English title, I don't think it's an exact translation, but the English title is called No More Blues. So I think that's something that we all need right now. So we hope you like this one. That was Chega de Saudade, also known as No More Blues by the great Antonio Carlos Jobim. And I think that's a message that we all need right now. So thank you so much for being here tonight. If you're enjoying the music, there's a link right in the video here that will take you to the music/store page of my website. And there are 3 different ways that you can make a contribution if you're enjoying the music, if you're liking what you're hearing. You can download all of our albums. We've got 7 albums for you to choose from. So that's plenty of music to listen to over the next few weeks or months. You can also make a one-time donation. There are several amounts that you can choose from, but you can also adjust them to whatever you would like. And you can also become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz by setting up an automatic payment with your credit card. It's through PayPal. It's a secure link, and you'll find that right on the bottom of the same page. And there are several monthly amounts that you can choose from. You can always cancel with no penalty at any time. And it's just a great way to show your ongoing support. This is actually, even though this is kind of a new thing for us, it's actually the way that public television works. It's the way that public radio works. This is actually kind of a business model that's been around for quite a long time. And we really see what we're doing here as a service because we love playing so much, and music is really what keeps us going in life no matter what. It just gives us the motivation to keep doing what we love, to keep sharing our music with you, and even during kind of hard times. These are especially the times when we need it the most for ourselves, and also I think that society really needs music and art, and so we're just really grateful to still have the opportunity to share this music with you. And if you'd like to show your support for how much you're enjoying the music, feel free to head on over to my website and do so. If you're unable to make a contribution at this time, that's totally okay. We understand this is kind of a hard time for everybody, not only musicians and artists. As I have mentioned the past few nights, and we really truly mean it when we say this, we're just really grateful to have an audience here, and we're so thankful, and we feel really fortunate to be able to share our music with you, to have people listening through the internet. And we've really appreciated everybody who's sent us a nice message and left comments on our videos and shared our videos on your Facebook pages, people who have shared it on their own pages.
A big thank you for all the people who is always watching and following us. Thank you.
Yeah, we've had a lot of folks who have been with us since the very beginning, since we started these online concerts about 2.5 weeks ago. It seems like it was 2.5 months ago, because it just seems like that's every day feels a little bit slow when you can't go out of the house. So hope you've all been at least trying to get some fresh air when you can. I know we can't, we have to keep our social distance from each other right now, but we do hope that this music is helping bring some joy during this time.
The power of music.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'd like to continue with a piece by the pianist Kenny Barron, who's one of the great prolific jazz pianists and composers on the scene today. We played a piece of his a few nights ago, or maybe it was last week. We played a Kenny Barron composition called New York Attitude. That was a tune that we had seen him perform live, also at the Village Vanguard, a couple of years ago. And did he play this tune that night? I'm trying to remember. The tune that we're about to play by Kenny Barron is called Voyage.
For some reason, this one is very famous for saxophone players that they were playing.
Oh, okay.
Well, this Kenny Barron, but yeah.
We might have seen a saxophone player playing a group of the saxophone quartet.
When Jan took us to the concert in Bob's shop.
Oh, that's right. That's where we heard it recently.
And we heard that and said, we want that.
Yeah, you're totally right. I knew it was somewhere. I couldn't remember if it was a Jazz Fest or something. We go to so many live performances.
Thank you, Jan, for taking us to that concert.
Thank you so much. This inspired us to learn this tune. So without further ado, this is Kenny Barron's Voyage. And thank you for being on this voyage with us, this mysterious, unknown voyage. that was a composition called Voyage by the pianist and composer Kenny Barron, one of the great pianists on the scene today. We've got just a couple more tunes for you, and then that will be all the music for tonight, but we will stick around and say hello to you all. So again, if you're out there listening, please feel free to leave a comment and say hello. And if you're new here, please introduce yourself. It's been great to make new friends, even though it was only through Facebook these last couple of weeks. And we're so delighted that our music is reaching farther and farther every day, thanks to our friends who have shared our videos and people who have been promoting us. Daniel Kushner wrote a great article about our live stream concerts in the city paper last week, which was such a wonderful surprise. And Greg Bell wrote about us in his website yesterday, Jazz Rochester. And we really appreciate both of them like helping to spread the word about these online concerts, because it really means a lot to us to have our audience growing even during this time when we can't be out there, on the scene, out at actual venues. So it's been great having you all here. This next piece comes from the movie Midnight in Paris, directed by Woody Allen. And most of you know that Antonio and I took a trip to Paris last summer. And part of the reason that we wanted to go was actually because of this movie. We've watched this movie together so many times. I'd have to say this is like our movie, like the way that every couple has like their movie and their song. This is definitely our movie, and we had always wanted to go to Paris anyway, but that movie just made us want to go even more. We actually did some performances when we were in Paris, which was one of the best experiences of our life, and I think I talked about that a little last week when we played one of those compositions. But in the movie Midnight in Paris, there is a recurring piece of music that keeps happening throughout the movie. So it's kind of the theme song of Midnight in Paris. And this piece is called Bistro Fada, and it was composed by the guitarist Stéphane Rembel, who has performed in Rochester many times, I know at the Jazz Fest, and also just when he was touring and doing his own individual concerts here. And I've actually got a pretty good story about the first time I ever saw him perform. I don't remember what year it was, but I think it was the first year that he played at the Jazz Fest, and he was playing on one of the outdoor stages. I had never heard of him before. I was walking outside, and I was on my way to another venue to see another group perform. I don't remember who. But as I walked by the stage, I just had to stop and check this guy out, and I ended up just staying for the entire concert and completely forgetting about the other place I was planning on going, because his music was just so captivating, and I loved what he was playing so much. He, at that time, was playing very much in the gypsy jazz style of Django Reinhardt and the Quintet of the Hot Club of France, which was a famous jazz group featuring Django Reinhardt and Stéphane Grappelli on violin. And I know that Stéphane Rembel, this guitarist who I'm speaking about, I know that he has branched out and done many other styles of music, not only that. I know he has a lot of his own original music and different projects he's doing all the time. But this first year that I saw him at the Jazz Fest, he was playing very much in that style. And that is kind of the style of this piece from the movie Midnight in Paris. And if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But for those who have not seen the movie, the main character, whose name is Gil, the premise of the movie is that it takes place in the year 2010. But every night at midnight, he finds this staircase outside on a sidewalk, some steps that he sits on, and he waits. And this car appears at midnight and takes him away, and he gets transported to the 1920s. And so there's a scene that keeps popping up throughout the movie in which the character Gil is waiting on these steps. And when we were in Paris, we actually found those exact steps, and of course we took tons of pictures there. It was right around the corner from the Pantheon. There's a famous Pantheon building in Rome, and there's also one in Paris. But it's really interesting because the Pantheon has a huge, big staircase, like big steps up in the front. But around the corner is this church, and that is where Gil sat. And we thought it was kind of interesting that Woody Allen decided not to have the character sit on this main stairway in the Pantheon. But as we looked at the street that this car in the movie drives down to pick him up, we saw that the street just had some magic. And that is why we think, we don't know for sure, but that's why we think that Woody Allen chose that exact location for Gil to wait on the steps for this car. But anyway, you'll see some pictures of all of that in our little slideshow here. We hope you enjoyed this tune called Bistro Fada, the theme from Midnight in Paris. You haven't even seen this.
Yay. Oh.
I want to go back. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That was Bistro Fada, also known as the theme from the movie Midnight in Paris, composed by the guitarist Stéphane Rembel. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We've got one more piece of music to play for you, but please stick around. We'd love to chat with you for a few minutes afterward. If you haven't left a comment yet, feel free to do so. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're enjoying the music and would like to show your support, feel free to head on over to lauradubin.com after we play this last tune. There's a link right in the video here, and you can download all 7 of our albums. You can make a one-time donation of any amount you choose. There are several suggested amounts there, but you can also adjust them to your liking. Or you can become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz and set up an automatic credit card payment through PayPal. There are several monthly amounts that you can choose from, and you can always cancel at any time with no obligation. And just to mention this, my website is secure, and the PayPal checkout is also secure. But if you want to make a donation and you just don't want to do it online, feel free to send me a private message here on Facebook and we can talk about another method. And if you're unable to make a contribution right now, that is totally okay. Again, we just really appreciate you listening to our music and watching and sharing our videos. It really means the world to us. So thank you all so much. We're going to finish with another Horace Silver tune. We've played many of his compositions in the last couple of weeks. It's because he's got so many great tunes, and it's like impossible for us to just pick one or even a couple because they've all got something special about them. And this one is just so much fun to play. It is called The Jody Grind, which comes from his album of the same title. Hope you like this one. Feel free to dance along. It's a pretty happy, upbeat tune. was The Jody Grind by Horace Silver. And that's all the music for tonight, but we will see you right back here again at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. We'll be doing these online concerts every night until the end of time, I think. So thank you for being along on the journey with us. I'd like to get my trusty little phone out here and take a few minutes to say hello to everybody out there. I saw a lot of comments popping up while we were playing. I couldn't see who they were, but thank you so much in advance. Thank you, Ma, for sharing our video. Muchas gracias. I'm getting a little better at my Spanish every day. Wait, how am I going to... I was about to say something in Spanish, and it almost came out in German.
Oh.
Yo soy un poquito mejor día a día. A little bit better every day in Espanol. Not so great.
But not me in English.
No, that's not true. Your English is getting better, my Spanish is getting worse. No. So I studied German all the way from 6th grade until I graduated high school, and I also took 2 semesters in college. But as soon as I met you, I started learning Spanish, and I definitely learned Spanish a lot more quickly than I learned German because I was actually living in Mexico with you, immersed in the culture, speaking Spanish all the time, which is totally different than learning a language in a classroom. Although my German teachers were wonderful and I loved it so much. But now every time I try to think of something in German, it just comes out in Spanish in my head. Exactly. There you go. My Aunt Margie, Ross and Margie. Hi. Hey, thank you so much for sharing and for watching. Hope you made it back home safely. I'm assuming you're back home now.
Jackie.
Yeah, give her a little extra treat from us. My aunt and uncle have an adorable little dog named Jackie. She is. You'll have to remind me in the comments what kind of dog she is. I think she's called a Doxy Pin, cross between a Dachshund and a Pincher. I can't remember how that's pronounced, but yeah, she's a little cutie.
Thank you, Ross and Margie.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Deanna's watching. Hola, Deanna.
Diana, my
Thank
sister.
you so much for watching. I miss you so much. Sending a big abrazo through Facebook.
Thank you, Diana.
I wish we could visit each other now, but it's going to be hard during this period of time to travel. Well, and I know that travel's actually restricted right now, but hopefully
special thank you.
Soon. Yeah, thank you so much. There we go. I just saw that on my news feed when I opened this up. Looking at the actual video here now. Got 18 comments tonight. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Woo! Linda, hi Linda. Thank you so much for watching.
We missed you yesterday.
Yeah.
Or before yesterday.
Actually, I saw she did watch it yesterday because you left a comment that for some reason. So I don't know what's going on with Facebook. If there's anybody here right now who I forget to say hello to you now, it's because for whatever reason some of the comments don't always show up. I don't know if it's maybe because only comments that were left during a certain time are showing up, but sometimes I see other ones like later on. So I saw Linda's last night. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you in our video last
Linda,
night.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi Samantha, Muffin. Thank you so much for watching. We miss you. I was just using your muffin oven mitts tonight. We made some tortillas and we used the little muffin pot holders as a
Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much. So for those of our listeners out there who wonder why every time my friend Samantha comes on, I say, hi, Muffin, it's because Samantha Lesser is one of my dearest and oldest friends. We've been friends since we were 12, I think. We were in 6th grade or 7th grade. We met in art class together in middle school. And I don't even know how it came about, but somehow we had this inside joke about muffins, like, ever since that time. So we always just call each other Muffin from now on. So she got us this adorable set of muffin oven mitts and pot holders for Christmas last year. That's what I was referring to.
When she hired us for playing in the Darwin's birthday in the museum. Thank you. I always remember that gig, and it was so much fun.
That was one of the most fun gigs ever. So Samantha used to work at Museum of the Earth in Ithaca, which is a wonderful science museum. And they had a birthday party for Charles Darwin a few years ago. I don't know what it would have been, his 100th birthday.
There is some whale, a skeleton of whale in the museum. It's
super cool.
Gigantic.
Yeah, we've got some cool selfies that we took there.
Samantha's a geologist, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Samantha.
Yeah, it's great to see you again here. Oh, Greg Marshall, thank you so much for watching. I finally signed up for the reminders. Perfect. We're so glad. So if for those of you who are watching, if you're watching this on my personal Facebook page and you haven't liked my Facebook music page yet, Laura Dubin Jazz, feel free to head on over there and like the page, because then you'll get notified every time that we do a live video or whenever I post something else music related. It's always music related posts on that page. And if you haven't signed up for my mailing list, you can go right to the home page of my website, lauradubin.com. And if you just scroll down a couple seconds down the page, you'll see a sign-up form right there. It might seem like it didn't do anything after you type your email address and hit enter, but it does. I immediately get a notification with your email address. Or you can just send me a private Facebook message here with your email address. Obviously, don't leave it in the comments now, because we want to all respect your privacy.
Yes, please visit the website. We always have a lot of information there, plus videos, music, and news.
Yeah, and actually, thanks for reminding me, because we're also sharing all of these videos, all these Facebook videos that we're doing. We're also putting them on YouTube. As soon as we finish every night, we immediately upload them to YouTube. So if you have any friends who aren't on Facebook, but you think they'd like the videos, they can check out my YouTube channel, Laura Dubin Jazz, and all the videos are there. And they are also being posted on my website on the videos page. So there's 3 places to see us.
Yeah.
And you can actually, even if you don't have a Facebook account, you can still watch these videos on Facebook. You just won't be able to interact with the video. Like, you can't like the video, Facebook like it. You can, hopefully you will actually like it, but you can't give it a Facebook like or comment, but you can still see it. Siobhan, yay! Thank you so much for watching again. Hope you heard the first tune there that we dedicated to you. Yay! Oh, your stick flipped, Bob says. Did you flip your stick during a drum solo tonight?
Did I?
You must have.
Oh.
He said your stick flipped with a smiley face and hands.
Oh, sometimes coming unconscious.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. It's hard to plan something like that, but sometimes it happens spontaneously. Yeah. Thank you for watching, Bob and Sue.
Thank you. I will do one more tomorrow or after tomorrow.
Yeah.
More
exactly.
In that kind of, you know.
Maybe it was in Shega de Saraja. You did a big solo
Probably,
in that one. Yeah. So I think I maybe mentioned this last night or like 2 nights ago, but it's funny in jazz, like if you, when you're improvising, if you try to plan out what you're going to play, it never works. It never comes out exactly the way you want. But if you just like do it spontaneously, sometimes something really cool happens that you don't even know that your fingers or your hands could do.
Thinking is terrible.
Don't think.
Don't think.
That's our advice for you tonight. Don't think. Donna. Ooh, thank you so much for watching, Donna.
Thank you, Donna.
Ooh, I'm going to read your big comment here. Part of it. Zeppo Marx was married to Barbara Marx. Huh? Barbara Marx Sinatra. Oh my gosh. Who left Zeppo after 14 years of marriage to Frank Sinatra. Oh my gosh, did not know that. Later on, she wrote a biography about Sinatra called Lady Blue Eyes, My Life with Frank. Oh my gosh, I definitely want to read that book. That's amazing. Did not know of that connection. Thank you so much for that bit of trivia, history. It's really cool. Donna is super knowledgeable about not just jazz, but like all types of music.
She's always playing music.
Yeah.
I follow your videos and I love it.
They're so great, yeah.
Thank you, Donna, for keep the music alive.
Yeah, we really need more people like you in this world. Thank you so much. Hear, hear, Siobhan says. Yay, that means you heard it, right? Yay. Scott Archangel, thank you so much for watching. So we haven't met Scott in real life, but he's actually the person who contracted us for that Lion King cast party gig.
Oh,
thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll get to meet you in person someday whenever this quarantine ends and we can travel to New York.
Yes.
So Antonio and I played a really, really awesome gig on Christmas Eve, and thanks to this friend Scott, who's a pianist and a contractor of other musicians. I'm assuming when he's not able to do a performance himself, because he's probably already booked for another one, he hires out other musicians. And somehow he had a connection to the touring cast of The Lion King. So I'm sure some of you saw The Lion King when it was here in Rochester a few months ago. It was actually around Christmas time. Yeah. And I got a message from this gentleman, Scott, saying he was looking for a jazz group in Rochester to play for a cast party on Christmas Eve for the cast and crew of The Lion King. And it was one of the most fun performances ever because we got to meet all the cast, and of course they're all very musical, and so it was great sharing the music with them, spending time with them.
I remember some little girl singing with us and dancing, and I was like, "Oh, she's so talented," but I didn't realize that she was actually,
Nala.
She was Nala.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Yeah, because there were a lot of kids there that night, and you know, this is before we had seen the musical. We ended up seeing it a few days later, and we actually got to have a backstage tour thanks to the stage manager there. Thank you so much. There were several children at this party, and we figured they were children who were obviously traveling with their parents while they were on tour. And this one adorable girl came up and asked to sing a couple songs with us, and she did. And I was like, wow, that girl can sing. I'm not sure how old she is, maybe 10 or something. I might be totally wrong. But I thought, wow, that girl's got a really bright future ahead of her in Broadway. And then, lo and behold, she's already on Broadway and as the part of playing young Nala in The Lion King. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah. All right. It looks like I got everybody. Let me pop on over to my other Facebook page just to make sure I didn't miss anyone. And if for some reason I missed your comment, I apologize. It's not me. It's Facebook. I hate to say that, but looks like I got everybody there. Thank you so much once again for watching. We appreciate you all so much. Stay safe and healthy, and we will see you back here at the same time tomorrow night. Bye!